Everybody, so I got a mic, this little thing right here, and I'm gonna be talking about Alejandro Garnacho. And since he's linked to Roma, I just want to talk about his fall off and all the nice stuff. So it's gonna be my third player analysis, and yeah, I'm gonna talk about it now. So basically, uh, I'm gonna go over some of the things that I think he is. That kind of just the pluses, the good stuff about him. So I think one of the good things they have is his pace. I mean, we saw it at Chelsea, even though he wasn't that good. We saw that one assist that he had, and I think it was a good assist. It definitely shows his pace. He's extremely fast, and yeah, he also has a lot of confidence. His confidence. It could be a little bit overboard. I mean, more than a little bit. It's the entire reason why he's being kicked out of Chelsea and Man United. His confidence is a little bit too much, which is what we'll go in after when we go into the bad things about him. But yeah, he also has a very good left foot. I mean, we've seen it time and again. He has a decent left foot. I mean, at Chelsea, it wasn't the best, but you definitely see at Man United how it was better than his right foot, and he's left-footed, so his age is still good. I mean, I think Alejandro Garnacho, if he really puts his mind to it, I think he can still be a world-class baller because of his age, but yeah, it probably won't happen because of his ego and all of that. But anyway, yeah. So his pace, confidence, left foot, age are all good, but he also has immense talent. As much as he hasn't fulfilled it, he definitely has talent. There's no doubt about it. He has talent for days. We've seen it all the time at Man United. Just all those moments and stuff. Yeah, he's always had very good talent. And the last thing is his playmaking. Yeah. So, obviously it's not the best in the world. I mean, it's not that good, but he has some good playmaking. You've seen it, and it's good. It's not bad. At Man United, he could. I mean, even though he would definitely ego, when he would play make, it was pretty good. Not that he did it a lot, but whenever he did, it was good. When he was taking the ball by himself, going up the pitch, trying to do a long shot, missing, then complaining, getting his ego in the way. But now, we're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about the bad things, the negatives, and all of that. So the first thing I think I'd like to say is his numbers. His numbers are pretty crap for a 42 million player. I don't remember what his numbers were, his stats at Chelsea, but I do know that it was crap. It was some terrible stats. His stats aren't good. That's the thing. He didn't have good stats at Chelsea, so yeah, I mean, it's actually really bad. I thought he wouldn't be that bad. I mean, I knew that he'd be pretty bad, but I thought he'd be better than this. I think he scored one goal and got a couple assists. I think he had like one goal, 3 assists. Pretty bad stats for the 42 million pound player, but it's Garnacho, so I'm surprised even Roma wants him because of those stats. Jeez. His 1v1 ability is. He's never really had that good of 1v1 ability. He's never had excellent 1v1 ability. It's always been pretty bad, so. I'm surprised that people even complain about it. It's just always consistently, not been great over the years. He's not had good 1v1 ability, which kind of just makes me mad because he's a winger. How are you a winger with bad 1v1 ability? How have you gotten this far? How have you gotten this far in professional football and still have terrible 1v1 as a winger? It's bad. His decision making, oh my god. You saw it mainly more at Man United, but definitely a lot at Chelsea. His decision making is just crap on and off the pitch. We saw him in the Villa shirt. We saw him with his brother leaking the lineups and all that, complaining in the Europa League final. Oh, I got 20 minutes. Okay. It's because you're bad. Just so his decision making on the pitch too. When he passes, he does the pass wrong. He shoots when he's not supposed to pass. He passes when he's supposed to shoot. Like, this guy can't get anything right. I almost feel bad for him, but I don't, because that's his decision making. It's all about him. Oh god, his decision making is so bad on and off the pitch. He also really struggles in this one thing, which has definitely dented his career. He can't control games, and you know, if we he could a little bit. I mean, definitely get those last minute goals. Just his talent was there, but he just never could take the game by the grip of the neck. Never could control games, and then what didn't help was his right foot. His right foot's bad. His right foot's always been bad. He's always had a bad right foot. So. you just always kind of had a bad right foot, so, yeah. I got braces, like, in my molars, and it's really annoying. Anyway, so, yeah. And then, his control, not control of the games, his ball control. As a winger, you should be good at 1v1 and ball control, but he just is bad at it. As a winger, I'm not a winger, I'm a midfielder, but if you are a winger, that is one thing that you should definitely be good at, and somehow he's not. Crazy stuff. Kind of like with his confidence, his pride, his ego. I'm going to put pride/ego. His pride is so bad. It's one of the 7 deadly sins, and I can definitely see why. Other players have it too. Ronaldo, he has crazy pride, but he earns it because he is the second best player of all time. Like, come on now. He's close to 1,000 goals. So it's like, he can have pride. But Alejandro Garnacho, who's done nothing in his career that can show that he deserves all that pride. No, where is he getting his pride from? He just got it from absolutely out of nowhere. Where is his pride coming from now? Like, I will never have that kind of pride. It's crazy. Jesus. And, like, his pride is... it's almost disgusting. Crazy. And then his IQ. Like, maybe his actual IQ is good. Maybe in school he was good, but his football IQ is trash. It really does go hand in hand with his decision-making, but his football IQ, it's like he looks like a pitch invader. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. You'll see that miss against Man United. I'm pretty sure it's against Man United. He had this one-on-one versus the keeper, right, and he blazed it to the right or to the left, and he missed. 1v1, you should never miss. I think if you're in a 1v1 as a professional footballer, you should definitely make it on target. And he missed the net. How? It's a big net. I get there's a goalkeeper and all that, but oh my god, you couldn't even make it on target? How? How do you not make it at least on target? Like, come on. That's so bad. You can't make it on target. Yeah, but his IQ on the pitch, as I said, he passes when he should shoot. He shoots when he should pass. What is he even doing? Absolute pitch invader. And this does go hand in hand with the decision making, the IQ. But this man will repeat the same 5 skills even though it doesn't work. It will work once in 30 tries. Like, he will repeat a skill move again and again and again and again and again and again. And it's like, why? Why are you doing that? You don't need to repeat a skill that you know it's not going to work. It doesn't work at all at Chelsea. It doesn't work at Man United. Like, why are you just repeating it? You think you're so skillful and you can't do anything. It's like, how? You do these step overs, you try the chop, you do all this stuff, and it doesn't work. So as a footballer, you know what you should do? You should work on other skills, and yet he doesn't. He just tries the same things. He will try the same skill 5 times in a match, and it will all fail in one match. Like, the defender knows what you're going to do. Why are you still trying that skill? Go for a different one. Do a different skill. Why are you doing that one? It's bad. It's bad. Bad. And lastly, uh, with his decision making, kind of his off pitch antics is crazy. I've never seen. Actually, no, I have, but he's a rare hybrid of footballer, where he's off the pitch is so bad. Like, he doesn't respect the club that he's at. He actively says that he doesn't miss being at any club, that he doesn't miss being at Man United, even though Man United made him the player that he is today, which is crap. But, like, Man United built you from the ground up, and you can't respect them? So bad. So basically, I've already done this with Goncalo Ramos and Dusan Vlahovic. With Goncalo Ramos and Dusan Vlahovic, they don't have this kind of thing, whereas, they're just so bad off the pitch. And let's just go over, his career, basically. Started out as at Man United as a full-on wonder kid. Cristiano Ronaldo was at the club at the time at Man United when he first made his debut, and everything was looking really good. He signed. Let's not. He signed. Very good. He was a very good football player at Man United. For what his age was, he was. You could see that he has immense talent, and everything was going his way. He was celebrating with Cristiano Ronaldo, making those last-minute goals. So. But then a problem kept recurring. He was just kind of not progressing. Over the years at Man United, he did progress, but it was slower. It was slower than some footballers and most footballers. It was, it was kind of like slowly going up. He wasn't progressing as fast as people would. He would go into each season doing the same thing. It was good the first few times, but come on, you've been playing professional football for about a year now, You would think he would progress a little bit faster, considering his age, he has so much left in his tank. He should be able to do more, and yet he didn't. And then, come 25, 26, not 24, 25, it all really started to show. He wasn't progressing. I mean, his numbers were decent that season, but, he wasn't that great that season, as the numbers will tell you more than what he actually did. He didn't really do much. He just kind of did the same things and got boring, and he was disrespecting his managers like Erik ten Hag and Ruben Amorim. He wasn't. It was pretty bad, right? So then it got to a point where it was almost no look back. He started disrespecting the club entirely, the gaffers to a complete extent, wearing the Marcus Rashford Aston Villa jersey. It was going real downhill. It was looking bad. He was being almost separated from the squad because of what he was doing off the pitch. Leaking lineups with his brother. His brother was terrible. It was just... the squad got so divided with... He was with the Antonys and some of these other, like Onana, He was with these players that just weren't good enough and were disrespecting the club, and he was a part of a group of players that Man United wanted out of the club, which you should never be in there. And then, after the Europa League final, that was the last straw. Complaining that he only got 20 minutes, showed all of his ego, and he was done. He wanted out of Man United. Chelsea came calling, and he went to Chelsea. Man United then bought Brian Mbeumo, Benjamin Sesko, Cunha, and by November sacked Ruben Amorim in favor of Michael Carrick. It wasn't looking good for Man United. They were low in the table, knocked like Grimsby. In fact, you could even say that Chelsea were beating Liverpool. They were beating Barcelona 3-0. It was looking so good for them. Garnacho looked like the smart man. Yeah, he wasn't doing good at Chelsea at all. He was actually underperforming more at Chelsea than Man United. It was looking extremely bad for him. But it did look like that Man United were going to get another bottom half finish, and Chelsea are going to get another Champions League spot. It was looking really good for him. Until it all clicked. And Mbeumo, Bruno Fernandes, Cunha, Sesko, it started working under Michael Carrick. It really started working under Michael Carrick. They were barely losing. They were getting a lot of points, which you would think in the head of the smart man Alejandro Garnacho, that's not going to faze him. Come on, he's him. But then Enzo Maresca got sacked, or got fired, or left the club, or whatever. And Enzo Maresca was actually giving him chances. A lot of chances, a lot more than he actually should have gotten. So then comes Liam Sr., and he had one look at Alejandro Garnacho and decided, you're not in my plans. So then barely even played Alejandro Garnacho. But then he got sacked. Then Callum came in, but was only an interim, and ended the season with them. And it was just not looking good for Chelsea, because they kept hiring and firing all these managers. They did end up getting Xabi Alonso in that FA Cup final that same day they got him, but he couldn't actually manage until the summer or preseason because the season was almost over. And Chelsea went like 7 games without even scoring a single goal besides a 7-0 win in the FA Cup against God knows who. So it was looking really bad. In fact, it was so bad that Chelsea finished 10th. But hey, at least Garnacho could laugh at me United, because can't we all? He couldn't laugh at Man United because they were really clicking. They were hardly losing. They were getting all these points. They climbed that table like a rock wall or something. They were doing very good. Michael Carrick was running that ship. Doing very good. Now, of course, that guy couldn't cut his hair for the 5 games in a row, but it was still looking very good. In fact, they got Champions League football. But now you might say, well, Champions League football is top 5. Well, even if Man United got 5th, that'll still be good. But they got 3rd. Chelsea got 10th. No European football. Man United get 3rd. Champions League football. Garnacho jumped ship. Looked like it was going to be good. And then ended up finishing below his former club. Now, under the Xabi Alonso system, playing a 4-4-2 with some of these players. Now, I don't really know which formation to play. He mostly used a 4-4-2 at Real Madrid, so I'm just going to go for that. Garnacho is not in his plans. Estevao, Quenda, Neto, Palma, they all look like they have a much better chance at being in the plans and all of that. And now Garnacho is looking to actually leave. He doesn't want to leave. But United let him go. And a year later, Chelsea's letting him go again. And the biggest club he's being looked at from is Roma. That's the end of the video. Yeah, it's looking bad for him. I really can't see a good way for this man, but yeah, fully deserved Alejandro Garnacho legacy of failures.